centered around the word resilience. For yoga, we've been focusing on resilience of our body and resilience of mind. To review the definition, so we're all on the same page, resilience is the ability to adapt to a challenging or difficult experience. And yoga can be a tool in helping us to develop and recognize resilience in our body and mind. Here's an example of resilience in body. When we're coming out of a challenging or a difficult pose, we can actually begin to feel our resilience in body return as a more relaxed state. So sometimes this might feel like relief, but for the purposes of yoga, this is the sensation of resilience. So it's moving from a stressful state towards a relaxed state, and at that point of that turning point, that pivoting point, that's the balance, that's the resilience. And then a couple examples of resilience of mind. When we begin transitioning from asleep to awake, resilience. Transitioning from confusion to clarity. And transitioning from distraction, thank you for leaving, brown one, to focus. So your yoga invitation for today's practice, experience your own resilience in body and mind. Namaste. We'll begin by gifting ourselves these few precious moments to arrive in centering stillness. In the seated pose of your choice today, begin to give yourself permission to arrive fully. Yoga starts by stopping. We stop the agenda that's outside of our mat. Begin welcoming yourself. As you follow the rhythm of your breathing, notice this centering into stillness for your body and your mind. Let's all invite yoga to meet us where we are today. With your very next breath, We'll begin in some warming practices. If the eyes are closed, please open your eyes into a soft gaze. Receive a deepened breath and let those arms just reach out and circle all the way up above you. The releasing breath, let's turn the palms outwards and bring the arms all the way back down. Just do 2 more of these. First connection, movement of body, rhythm of breath. And when your second one here is being completed, receive another deepened breath, relaxing pose. And then let's open our arms and reach them out just to a wingspan level now. Bend your left elbow, place the palm at your heart center. Right elbow bends palm on top of the left hand. Receive the next breath. Open that right arm out to the right and let your head turn. Eyes follow the fingertips as you circle out to the right side. Release the breath. Bring that right arm back home. Receive the breath. Start to reach the left arm forward. Open the left arm. Follow the fingertips with the gaze of your eyes. Bring it back to the heart center. 2 more of these, please. We're reviewing how yoga can be a tool to help us develop resilience of body, resilience of mind. When you first start to notice that there's a little bit of something that needs to be adapted to continue moving into your practice, that's when you're going to notice how that resilience is felt. Whenever that last full sequence, reaching out, bringing the palms back to the heart center, have arrived. Pause for just 1 breath. Notice the shoulder blades. Can you relax them down? And then let's receive that next breath. Again, just reach out the right arm. As the right arm opens to the right, softly turn your head to the left. Gaze over to your left side as the right hand and arm come back to the heart center. Left hand and arm reach out over to the left. Eyes turn, head turns, eyes gaze to the right. And 2 more of these. And notice when the pattern, when the movements become familiar with you, how you begin to flow with a little more ease. And again, there's your resilience. Last cycle, complete it fully. Arm reaches to one side, head softly turns to the opposite side. And we're all going to join back together in that centering pose. Receive the next breath. Let's open both arms out to the wingspan, bending of your elbows. Interlace the fingers behind your head. Reach the elbows out. Lift the heart center up. Release the next breath. Start to just bring your right elbow down to the right side. Yogi's choice for where the head is positioned. Center, over to the left, or look down to the right. But come back into that center. Release the next breath here. Goes the left elbow traveling down to the left side. Right elbow stays lifted high. We're practicing resilience today into what our experiences are, and then give permission to adapt to any of your challenges or difficulties. Keep focusing with your resilience. You'll complete this last sequence with just stretching through the sides of our body. And we all come back to that center. Let the arms open out wide. Interlace the fingers behind you. Or take your reverse ragdoll arms or just opposite hand on a wrist. And let the front body open now. Draw the shoulder blades down. Widen the collarbones out. Feel that inner space that you create. Receive a deep, delicious breath here. And release the breath. Start to bow forward. So if the fingers are interlaced behind your back, you might lift the arms away from your back body. You might not. The challenge of that may be not available for you today. Then we don't visit it. We adapt to it. We feel the resilience of the body here. And we'll take 2 breaths when you are in your forward fold. Release your head. And then we'll rise back up. Slide the shoulder blades down if you really bowed forward into a deeper place. Let the heart center lift you back. Release, relax the hands, arms. Open the arms out wide. Circle the arms forward this time. Like a little isometric, like you're kind of pushing a beach ball together as the arms come forward. And then just bring the opposite fingertips onto the shoulders. Left fingertips, right shoulder, right fingertips, left shoulder. We lift the elbows up towards the shoulder height. Receive a deep breath. Release that breath. Let your body turn to the left. Receive the breath. Come back through center, over to the right. We're going to move a little quicker. Release the breath. Over to the left. Receive the breath. Over to the right. Two more. Back into that center. Slowly and gently, let the arms reach up high, high, high above you. Open the arms out. Draw the arms forward once again, isometrically. Notice that little inner strength that you can place to this. And then we'll interlace the fingers here. Create the steeple mudra. Release the next breath. Softly reach through the steeple away from your body and let your head kind of bow in between the arms so the ears stay in a line with the upper arms. And then reach again through your steeple. One more reach. Reach through the steeple. Receive the next breath. Let the arms lift up. Let your body lift all the way back up. Soften the steeple fingers or mudra. Open the arms out through wingspan. Again, circle the arms behind you, just like we did a moment ago. Interlace the fingers, take reverse ragdoll, hold on to an opposite wrist. Open the front body, release the breath. Arms release down. Open them back out towards the wingspan. Here we go. We're going to flow one more time. Ready? Release the breath. Arms reach forward. Interlace fingers. Steeple mudra. Reach out through the steeple. Let the head bow. Ears in line with the upper arms. And keep reaching, reaching, reaching through the steeple. Receive a breath. Rise up. Lift up. Open up the front body. Release the next breath. Release the arms. Open them through this beautiful circle that surrounds you. And then circle the arms behind you. Receive a breath as you open the front body once again. Release the breath. Bow forward. 2 breaths. Notice when we come out of this pose now, when you sense your resilience of body, receive and let your body rise up. Relax the shoulders, let the hands release, let the arms release. Let's bring the back of the hands to the thighs or the tops of the knees, palms face up. Just notice a couple breaths here. There's new energy that you have awakened. It was kind of like asleep or resting. Now it's awakened. What are those sensations for you? The next releasing breath. Soften. Receive a breath. Energize. We're going to come into our tabletop. So we transition from the seated pose to our tabletop. We're going to do our spinal wave with a little modification by adjusting the tops of the feet to the tucked toes. Here we go. Our tabletop, we receive a nice deep breath. Tops of the feet resting on the mat. Release the breath. Downward wave. Tailbone tucks down, head bounce down. Now really feel your back body opening up here as it rises. When you receive the breath, upward wave. When the tailbone starts to lift, tuck your toes under. Draw the heart center forward and lightly let the gaze be neutral, straight ahead of you. So the neck stays in lengthened pose. Release the breath. Tops of the feet down. Downward wave. Receive the breath. Upward wave. Toes tucking. One or two more of these cycles. We're arriving fully on our mats here now to begin experiencing the ebb, the flow of the rhythm of our breath. And then notice whenever there is any sense of a stressful state and you adapt towards the relaxing state, how that is your sensation of resilience. And when you're back into the neutral position, balanced practice, receive the next breath. Bring that left leg forward to your low lunge. Lift the heart. So just let the fingertips just rest on the mat so the shoulder blades can slide down, the heart center can lift forward, and divine half monkey. Release the breath. Either you keep the left outer hip in line with your left ankle, and then you scoot the left foot forward, and you keep reaching that left leg forward till you feel the stretch through the hamstring and the back of the knees. Or from your low lunge, you start to reach the hips back towards the right heel and let the left leg stretch out. And then the toes can lift up. Whatever you need to adapt to, remember, we're all going to find our challenges. It's unique to each of us where we notice our challenge. When we adapt to them, then we can focus on that resilience. So let the left toes lift up. Let the body bow forward. Keep moving. One or two more breaths. And then we'll all come back into that low lunge. Receive that new breath of energy. Bring your body back into that low lunge. Receive the next breath. Reach the arms back this time. Lift them up to the airplane. Palms face each other or palms face up. Release the next breath. Let the arms release down. Let the arms reach forward as we did in warming. Rise your body up, up, up. Lift up. Open up through the front body. Maybe you're leaning back a little, maybe not. Release the breath. Reach the arms forward. Now, just like you did in your divine half monkey, when the arms reach back to the airplane, the left leg again stretches out lightly. And two more. Receive a breath. Crescent, low lunge. Release the breath. Modified, divine half monkey. Stay present so you can continue to experience this natural flow, breath and body. Pause when you're in your low crescent. Interlace the fingers again behind your head. Elbows reach out wide, wide. Release the next breath. Bring the elbows towards each other. Let your hips hinge and bow your body towards the top of your left thigh. Receive the breath. Let the body lift away from the left thigh. Open the elbows out. Maybe you release the breath and lean back a little. Maybe not. One more. We're balancing the relationship from the stressful state to the relaxed state to notice our resilience. Back in center, let the arms open out wide. Circle the arms forward, hips reach back, palms come down. Slide that left leg back to tabletop, tops of the feet down. Release a breath. Downward wave. Receive a breath. Upward wave with toes tucked. Draw the heart center forward to the neutral position, tops of the feet down. This time we bring the right leg forward to the low lunge. We begin releasing the next breath. Divine half monkey, whichever place you need to adapt to. So you don't just go into a full challenge mode. We want to experience the relationship, the balance between when we notice the challenge or difficulties and how we can adapt to them, and then flow into our resilience. Next, receiving breath. Everybody rise back up to your low lunge. Release the breath. Let the arms reach back again. Airplane arms. Receive. Arms reach forward. Rise to your low crescent lunge. Release the breath. Reach the arms forward. Begin to stretch out the right leg. Let your body bow just a little bit. And then lift the arms up behind you, airplane. Here we go, one more. The best yet. And we'll all meet back together into our low crescent lunge. Interlace the fingers behind. Widen the elbows out. Let the heart center stay lifted and release the breath. Elbows draw towards each other. Body bows towards the top of your right thigh. Receive the breath. Let the body be lifted. Let the elbows open out wide. Maybe you release the breath to reach back. Maybe you stay in the neutral place. And bow forward. Receive the next breath. Elbows open wide. Fingers slide away from each other. Arms open into that delicious wingspan. Release the breath. Draw the arms forward. Remember, kind of isometrically. Let the hips reach back lightly. And then plant the palms down, framing that right foot. Tuck the left toes. Lift the back left knee. And step back towards your dreamy downward facing dog. So open into the possibilities of your dreamy down dog here. And what's serving you here? Where do you begin to notice a little challenge or a difficulty? Immediately adapt. Create the changes. Focus on resilience. That's everybody with next breath. Lift the heels up as high as they'll lift together. Release the breath. Let's release both heels down together. Upper arms and the ears stay in alignment, but the shoulders are broadening outwards. You can feel some energy across the shoulders. Back of the knees are kind of lifted lightly, even though they're stretching out, so you feel that engagement. Thigh muscles hugging those big thigh bones. Receive the next breath. Gaze forward, soften the knees, and walk the hands to the top of your mats. Walking meditation, or 2 giant steps, or maybe you're playful and have a little jump or hop today, and then forward fold. Let it be a softer one. It's your first one of the morning. Head release. So let's nod our head no. Let's nod our head yes. Next breath, half lift here. Lengthening from tailbone to the very point where your spine touches your skull. And then forward fold again. Bow. Releasing resistance is knowing that there is a challenge in forward fold. There's probably several for each of us. But we give permission through the mind, and maybe the body responds by softening. The breath deepens, and we fold a little deeper. So let's continue. Receive the next breath. Begin to rise to your upward salutes. Arms reach outwards. Knees might soften as the body begins to lift, and then the palms lift up. The arms reach all the way up. Lift the toes as well. Reach through those fingertips as you ground down through the soles of your feet. Let's do a little side stretching here. Just going to turn to the long edge of my mat. Please stay where you are. From your upward salute here, interlace the fingers. Create your steeple mudra. Once again, index finger reaches high. Notice that extra little stretch you get through the side bodies. Receive the next breath. Release the breath. Now reach over to the right side. Receive the breath. Rise back to your center. Still got your toes lifted? Release the next breath. Reach over to your left side. So let's do a little focusing on resilience of mind here. Up to center. Release a breath. So if you notice that you are beginning to get a little confused or lost, or distracted, let's just find a drishti. Let's use our yoga skill there. Focus on that one object and then notice if that shift doesn't create clarity and focus. And then that point is your resilience. When that practice is balanced and you're back into your upward salute, soften the fingers, open the arms, softly bow forward. So maybe you're experimenting now with a little different fold than you first did. Good. Continue. From your forward fold, we're going to go into a standing split. So you start to walk your fingertips to the top of your toes, kind of wider than your toes. Start creating a tripod. Soften both knees together. Start to step back the right leg. Create your tripod again so you're balanced. You might walk the hands forward again, and then start lifting that right leg up. Up, up, up. Heel extends. Toes point down. Hips are level. Release the next breath. Soften the right knee, soften the left knee. Step that right leg back. As you do that, your hands walk back. And now you're into your high lunge. Receive the next breath. Now we're going to reach out the right arm. Go into this beautiful little twist. Feel the reach and then begin to rise. Keep the right heel lifted. Lower body stays in your high crescent. Upper body opens into this twist. Yes, there will be some adaptation, mind and body. Keep focusing on that and release the breath. Let's release the right arm. It goes back and circles down, out to the side, forward, however, yogi's choice. When those right fingertips are down, lift the heart, gaze forward. If you're confused, lost, distracted, find your drishti, use your yoga skill, clarity, and then release the breath. Now stretch out the left leg. Here comes pyramid. Let the hips hinge you and bow. Receive the breath. Lift the head. Gently bend that left knee. One more. Receive the breath. Heart lifted. Release the breath. Hips lift up a little bit first so they can reach back. And then the body bows forward. And then we come back to the high lunge or the runner's lunge, just the fingertips touching. And then we're going to go into the wide straddle. Pick up the left hand and arm. Bring it to the inside of the left leg. Start to walk the hands towards the long edge of your mat. Pivot the right heel down. Pick up the left toes. Pivot on that left heel. And then the feet are parallel. And then maybe your yogi's choice are toes turning out lightly. Maybe you like parallel. And then bow here. Today, let's see if we can walk the hands out towards the outer edges of our legs. Outside of the, below the knees, or down towards the ankles. And then let the head bow. So again, please nod yes, nod no. So you know the neck is releasing. And maybe you bend the elbows. And you explore into the next sensations. If the mind becomes distracted, if it starts to tell you a story you know isn't true here, use your yoga skills. Remain focused. Remain clear. Receive a breath. We're going to half lift, wide straddle. Lift the torso, release the hands, bring the fingertips to the middle. Maybe you've got a block or another prop to adapt into the practice that's suitable for you. And then half lift. So the torso stays lifted, the tailbone keeps reaching away. You gaze down lightly so the neck stays lengthened. And you release the breath. You soften both knees. Start to walk back to your high lunge or runner's lunge. Left hand and arm start to reach over to the left. Pivot on the ball of the right foot. Pivot on the ball of the left foot. There you are. Into your high lunge, your runner's lunge. Warrior two. Back into clarity, back into focus. Feel that resilience returning. And then reach out the right arm. Start to pivot the right heel down. Lift the right arm up. Lift the body up. Reach the arms out, out, out. Release the breath. Turn your gaze over to the left fingertips. Come home here. So take a couple breaths. Focus into the alignment. Focus into the clarity of this pose. Relax the shoulders. Just intuitively check in. Are the arms really straight? Am I reaching forward a bit instead of staying center with the body? One more nice deep breath. Yes. And then receive the next breath. peaceful warrior. The left palm and arm starts to reach up. The right palm and arm start to release down. Let the upper arm start to travel towards the left ear, and then feel the reach through the left fingertips and feel the space that you create on the outer edge of your left side. Let the right shoulder just release down and roll it back just a little. Receive the next breath. We're going to go back to warrior two. Strong and powerful, courageous and centered. And then we stretch out the left leg. Here comes your triangle. Now you might need to just walk that back foot in just a little bit for your triangle. Now square the hips. Relax the tailbone down. Relax the shoulder blades down. Reach the arms out. Resilience of body. Resilience of mind. And then we move to triangle. Release the breath. Reach through the left fingertips. So the left hip starts to push or gently nudge the right hip back. Maybe that's a little better cue for some of us to understand where the hips go. But we keep reaching through the left fingertips, and then we release the left arm down. And that right hand might come to the right hip. That right hand and arm might continue to reach up. Keep both legs actively engaged. Those thigh muscles hugging into the bones. Open through the right side of your body. Receive the next breath. Rise back up to that center. Feel the shifting. Feel the energy. Challenge, difficulty, adapt. Notice the resilience. And then reverse triangle. The right hand and arm come down. The left hand and arm come up. Reach through the left fingertips. And slowly return back into that center position. Both arms reaching out wide. Windmill down to your high lunge. Right arm reaches up. Left knee softens. Then pivot onto the right ball of the foot. Windmill that right arm all the way down. High lunge or runner's lunge. And then stretch back to your favorite downward facing dog. Yogi's choice on the traveling to your downward dog here. Couple of breaths. This skill, this yoga skill of finding your drishti is a tool that we can use when we become distracted, confused. Mentally, we shift, and then we can notice how that resilience, that balancing point between stress to relaxed, resilience. Beautiful. Engage mentally to practice this sequence opposite side. The breath is received. You begin to gently reach out the left leg. Push the body back. Lift the left leg up. So a deep split dog today. And then bend the left knee. Gaze forward. Soften the right knee. Step that left leg forward. There you are. Receive this next breath. Release the breath. Bring the right heel down. Pivot onto the ball of the right foot. Pick up the left foot. Pivot onto that. Go right into your wide straddle here. Changing it around just a little bit. Bring it back into your wide straddle. And this time, bow forward. Bow, bow, bow. I'm going to ask you to walk your hands back this time. So lightly pick up one hand. Come to the top of the back of the hand. Palm faces up. Pick up the left hand. Bring that hand down. Palm faces up. Now slide the back of the hands away from your body. So you need a little more core energy skill for this one. So you notice how that engages for your strength and how the body also relaxes into the stretch. How about one more breath? Here you go. And then we're going to come into a half lift. So we lengthen the spine. Now we're going to soften both knees. This time we're going to pivot onto the ball of the right foot, of the right foot. Pick up the left heel. Now bring the right leg forward to that runner's lunge. There we are. Let's just wiggle the fingertips so they're away from the mat. Checking in with all these yoga skills or tools that we have developed. And then we notice where this resilience is at home here. We're balancing the stressful state into the relaxed state. It's that point. How's the resilience of your mind? Find a drishti if you need to get clear and focused. And then receive the next breath. Reach out the left arm. Let the left arm begin to circle upwards. Feel the body opening towards the long edge of your mat. Relax your right shoulder. Yeah, it wants to hug the ear, but that's creating a challenge. Let's release that. Notice the balance point. And then circle that left arm down. Yogi's choice, however works best for you. The fingertips just touch the mat, framing the right foot. Receive the next breath, pyramid. Release the breath. The right leg starts to stretch out. The hips hinge. The body folds. Can you just come up on the fingertips or the finger pads? Create that little tent shape so you keep in touch with your whole body skill. Bow. Receive. Begin to lift the head gently. Release. Begin to bend that right knee. Here we go. We're going to windmill up to warrior two. Reach out the left arm. Begin to let it rise. Begin to pivot on the ball of the left foot. Lift up. So now you're in a twist, aren't you? Release the breath. The left arm continues to release down. Now receive the breath. The right arm begins to rise up. We open up wide. Release the next breath. Gaze over those right fingertips. Come home here. So if you're really noticing that there's a challenging or difficult place within body or mind, then let's adapt. Let's create that balancing point. And then we'll notice how resilience returns. Yeah. One more breath. And then we move right into peaceful warrior. Receive that next energizing breath. Right palm and arm reach up. Left palm and arm start to soften down. Continue breathing. Continue moving into your peaceful warrior. Return back into warrior two. Receive. Release. Refocus. Find that drishti again. Resilience of mind. Ready to receive that next breath? Triangle. Start to stretch out the right leg. Start to walk the left leg in a little bit if that serves you better. Maybe not. Square the hips. Open the arms. Release the breath. As the right fingertips reach forward, the right hip starts to gently nudge the left hip back. And then what's just right for you, the right arm softly comes down. It gently touches wherever you would like. And then you explore and discover, where does that left hand and arm want to travel in triangle today? We're inviting yoga to meet us where we are. today. Let's release that next breath. Let's reach. Receive the next breath. Energize. We're going to return back to triangle. The left hand and arm start to move towards the wingspan. The right arm starts to lift up. The body shifts back into the center and then release. The left arm comes down. The right arm rises up. Notice the first sensations of that deeper stretch through the right side. Can you invite the breath into that new space? Your alignment, tailbone is lightly tucking, thigh muscles engaging, breath deepening, and receive a breath. Return back to center. Open both arms out wide. Release the breath. Windmill down. Soften the right knee. Left arm reaches up. We pick up the left heel. We pivot on the ball of the left foot. We windmill both arms back down. Here we are, back into our high lunge, runner's lunge, and receive a breath. Wiggle the fingers. Release the breath. Soften the left knee down, top of the foot down. Receive this next breath. Low crescent. Maybe you'd like to explore. Bring the arms out to the sides and then up. Maybe you like airplane and then up. Maybe you just like to reach forward and then up. Just move into your low crescent lunge. And then explore and express fully into this place here. And as we release the next breath, we're going to open into a twist. Bring the right arm forward. Circle the left arm back. Gaze over towards the left fingertips. And let's turn the palms forward, thumbs up. One more breath and your open twist. Resilience. Release the breath. Left arm circles down. Here you go. Reach both arms forward. Are they level? Are palms facing? Receive. Let both arms reach up again. Release the breath. Interlace the fingers behind your head. Widen the elbows. Release the breath. Draw the elbows towards each other and bow lightly forward. Ready to receive? Come back. Widen the elbows. Lifting the heart center. Maybe your body is prepared now to do a little reaching back. And one more, bowing forward. Deepen into the releasing breath. Open the elbows wide. Slide the fingers apart. Open the arms. Circle those arms forward. Reach the hips back lightly and then plant the palms down. Stretch the right leg out gently and then step it back to tabletop. Tabletop. Just one spinal wave, please. Tops of the feet down. Release the breath. Downward wave. We're transitioning now into begin to finish well. Receiving breath. Toes tuck. Tailbone lift. Heart center lift. Slide the shoulder blades down. And release the breath. Back to your tabletop. Receive. Pick up the left leg. Bring that left leg forward. Your low crescent. Receive your next breath. Yogi's choice. However you choose to bring those arms upwards. Lifting through the fingertips. Releasing down through the hips. And release the next breath. Here we go to the open twist. Left arm reaches forward. Body turns to the long edge of your mat. Right arm reaches back. Palms forward, thumbs up. One more breath. Open your left knee towards the outside of your pinky toes. And release. Release the right arm down. Receive. Reach both arms forward again. Let them rise up. Low crescent. Resilience of body. resilience of the mind, that balancing point from a stressful state to relaxed. Release the next breath. Reach out the arms together. Open the arms through the wingspan. And then interlace the fingers behind your head one more time. Widen the elbows out. Maybe you're leaning back lightly. Release. Bow forward. Receive a deep breath, lifting the body, opening the elbows. Let's lift the heart center a little bit here. And release. Bowing forward. Receive to open the elbows wide. Release, let the hips sink down. Receive. Release the breath. Fingers wide apart. Arms open through the wingspan. Release. Circle the arms forward. Hips reach back just a little. And then we plant the palms down, framing our left foot. And we step back to that tabletop. One more spinal wave, please, with the toes and tucking in flat the top of the foot. Release the breath. Tops of the feet down, tailbone down, head bows down. The whole back body rises up. Receive the breath. When you notice the tailbone beginning to lift, tuck the toes. Draw the heart center forward. Find a drishti. Resilience of mind as you start to get a little lost, confused, distracted, and release the breath. Back into the neutral position, tops of the feet down. Now we'll do just a little modification with a little hip movement here. Just keep the tops of the feet down for this one. Receive a breath. Release the breath. Downward wave. Receive the breath. Upward wave. Release the breath. Now start to turn your head to the left. Gaze over the left shoulder and let the hips softly travel over to the right. So you're creating a C curve with your spine. Soften that right shoulder again. It wants to create a challenge by lifting. Release the breath. Just release the head from there. So the head bows forward. It just circles down. When the head is down, then you transition to downward wave. The tailbone travels down. You rise the back body up again. Receive the breath. Upward wave. Tailbone lifting, crown of the head lifting. Release the breath. Gaze over your right shoulder. Softly start to let the hips shift over to the left. Create a C curve. Release your next breath. Just release the head. It's just bowing forward. When the head's back and center, bowing down, continue transitioning full downward spinal wave. Tailbone tucks down, back body rises up. One more, please. Receive. Upward wave. When you're releasing this breath, turn the head to the left, gaze over the left shoulder, hips reach over to the right. Release the breath. Head just circles down. When the head is in center, bow down, continue into downward wave. Tailbone tucks down and back body rises up. There we go. Last time. Upward wave. Releasing breath. Over to the right with the head. Over to the left with the hips. Release the head. Downward wave. And receive a breath. Upward wave. Come back into your neutral position. Slowly transition through seated pose into a supine pose. Again, yogi's choice. How does that serve you today? Where is yoga meeting you as you transition tabletop to supine? Maybe your knees are bent as you roll down. Maybe the legs are straight. Maybe you're using support. Maybe you're not. But let's give our body and mind just a moment reprieve as we rest onto our back body. And with your very next breath, please bend your knees if they're not already there. And begin to pick up just that right foot with the knee bent, with both hands and using both arms. Just draw the right thigh in towards your chest or the right knee towards the armpit. Release the breath. Softly bring that right foot back down. Stay in alignment, hip width apart. Receive the next breath. Pick up the left foot. Use both hands, both arms. Slowly begin to just draw the left thigh in towards your chest or knee towards the armpit. And then release that left leg all the way back down. Very gently, just to begin to allow your body to roll from hip bone to hip bone. That's a gentle massage-like action. Soften anything you notice of tightness. Back to center. Pause. Receive the next breath. Begin to elevate both legs together. It's yogi's choice. You might lift them without support. You might lift them with support. You might move over to an open wall or a closed door. Just allow that support to help the legs stay elevated. Resilience of body, resilience of mind. How did the practice today serve your body? How did the practice today serve your mind? As you begin to release the next breath, we're going to gently begin to transition into Shavasana. Yogi's choice. Shavasana. As you allow yourself to settle, begin transitioning from active movement to rest. Softening the activity of your body. You begin transitioning from active thinking to calming, softening the movements of your mind. Transition from doing to being. gently draw your awareness to that place between your eyebrows, expanding that awareness into your space, and the wiggling through your toes, fingers, ankles, perhaps wrists. And with your next breath, awaken into new energy, giving your body an awakening stretch. And as you release the next breath, soften the knees and gently turn onto your right side. And with your next breath, gently begin to rise into your seated pose. In our seated poses with Anjali Mudra, receive a breath. As you begin to release the breath, gently bow forward, thanking yourself for showing up today, reconnecting, and know everything you did was enough. We'll rise together and close together today. Namaste. Namaste. Please do unmute yourself. Say goodbye to your fellow yogis.
Thanks, you guys. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Julie. Have a good week, everybody.
Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for joining this morning, each of you. Wonderful.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Stay well, stay tuned to your emails, and hope to see you back live next Monday on the Overlook.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.